What is up, budget billers? My name is Trail and the year is coming to an end, and it appears that the COVID virus is going to carry over until the new year. But before we end this year, we have a few more stimulus checks still being sent out in several states. Now, some of these states were even sending out more paper checks as late as yesterday. So you want to find out whether you may qualify for one of these last minute stimulus payments. Also, guys, I want to tell you about my new channel that I will be launching at the first of the year. It is called Budget Bill Finance. And if you're interested in learning more about growing your wealth, investing in real estate, stocks and cryptocurrencies, or even starting a new business, or even starting a YouTube channel, be so kind and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And those links will be down below in the description. And don't forget to go ahead and click the notification to turn those on so that you will be notified as soon as I drop the first video. Other than that, guys, hey, let's go ahead and get right to it. Well, guys, the Omicron variant continues to surge around the United States. And right here we have the Omicron variant. It now accounts for 73% of the U.S. infections, according to the CDC. Now, the Omicron variant or the coronavirus accounts for 73% of the coronavirus infections here in the United States, based on some sequencing data for the week ending in December the 18th, according to the CDC. And as this virus continues to surge all around everywhere, we continue to have more places being shut down or closing down. We just received word that the CNN is going to be closing their U.S. offices to most workers as COVID-19 cases continue to spike. And then we also saw where the NBA has postponed at least 5 games due to COVID-19 outbreak within the NBA system, as well as the NHL has now paused their season from starting, and they have paused it to actually start a little bit later, sometime in 2022. So yes, guys, as this virus continues to surge, we continue to have more lockdowns, more shutdowns, as well as more places requiring you to wear a mask at indoor activities. So yes, this thing is not going nowhere anytime soon. And we do have some breaking news in regards to the Omicron variant. We have just received notice of the first death from the Omicron virus, guys. Yes, right here. An unvaccinated man with health issues in the Harris County becomes the first Omicron death in the United States. Now, this is according to the Harris County. The patient was a man in his 50s who was not vaccinated and had an underlying health condition, according to this information released down in Houston, Texas. Now, after the warnings of the Omicron variant surge over the holidays, Harris County has reported its first death caused by the Omicron variant. It also was the first known Omicron death reported nationwide. Now, a county judge made the announcement during an afternoon news conference on Monday afternoon. My phone was ringing, I'm sure you guys noticed, and it was our public health director telling me that we had just had our first Omicron-related death. Now, guys, I know for folks in Harris County, this feels like a whiplash. It follows a downward trend in hospitalizations as well as virus cases, only to see things trend back up, and it is so frustrating. Now, the Houston Methodist said on Monday that 82% of the new cases are Omicron cases after just 3 weeks of testing for it. It took Delta 3 months to reach this point that we are at right now. The Texas Children's is also seeing hospitalization and cases doubling and tripling over the last week, and an upward trajectory that is steeper than anything we've seen previously during this pandemic. So yes, this Omicron variant is really starting to show up as a concern for everyone in the United States as well as other countries, guys. But we'll just have to keep our hopes alive on this virus and hope that we can get rid of it sooner than later. But now, guys, we also have some news regarding some new stimulus checks, or some stimulus checks that are going out before the end of this year. Right here, this article says that if you live in these 7 states, you could get another stimulus check. Now, these additional payments are being sent out during the holiday season, which we are entering in that right now. But yes, guys, millions of U.S. residents have received stimulus checks from the government to help offset financial burdens that were brought on by the COVID pandemic. 3 payments were given out over the last 2 years, with each round being worth up to $1,200, $600, and even $1,400 for eligible recipients. Since the last round was sent out in March, many people have held out for hope for a 4th stimulus check, especially as COVID continues to circulate this winter. Now, while most financial experts have warned that the U.S. is unlikely to send out one more 4th stimulus check, you could potentially receive more money from the government ahead of the holidays. Depending on where you live, read on to find out which 7 states are offering some residents some additional payments as of now. And the first state we have on the list is California, guys. And you know that they have their Golden State stimulus, and they are still sending out these stimulus checks. Some California residents might receive up to $1,100 stimulus checks this December, according to the Sacramento Bee. Now, the state is sending out the Golden State stimulus check to eligible residents, which it started sending these out earlier in October. Now, to qualify for this latest round of stimulus checks, you must have made less than $75,000 per year for the 2020 tax year, as well as you must have filed your 2020 taxes by October the 15th. And you must be a California resident for more than half of the 2020 year. And you must have not been claimed as a dependent by a taxpayer. And some people might have already received their stimulus payments, but they recently mailed out some paper checks to some people living in 3 different zip codes. Now, they didn't release these zip codes on this article, but I'm sure you can Google that information. Now, it does state that please allow up to 3 weeks to receive the paper checks once they are mailed out, which, like I said, guys, they mailed out those paper checks yesterday. Now, the second state on the list is Florida. Now, if you live in Florida, you could receive an additional check in the 2021, depending on your job situation. Now, the state is planning on distributing stimulus payments in December to first responders and educators who work with students, according to the U.S. Today. Now, the one-time payment will be for $1,000. Now, the third state on the list is Georgia, guys. And in September, the Georgia governor announced that all eligible sworn-in law enforcement officials and first responders in the state could receive an additional $1,000 stimulus check. Now, those applications for this supplemental payment will be accepted through December the 31st. So you still have some time to apply for one of these stimulus checks. Now, it states that our law enforcement officials and first responders answered the call of duty and bravely served on the front line of our fight against COVID-19, despite the unprecedented challenges thrown their way. We are taking yet another step in supporting our men and women in uniform and first responders by providing this well-deserved stimulus bonus check. Now, the fourth state that we have on the list is Maine. The Maine Revenue Services will send disaster relief checks worth up to $285 to eligible Maine citizens throughout the month of December. Now, this payment is part of the Maine Disaster Program, which was passed by the Governor Janet Mills to support Maine people who worked amid the pandemic, according to the Maine Revenue Services. Now, the fifth state on the list is Maryland, guys. As part of the Maryland Relief Act of 2021, low to moderate income Marylanders could receive additional checks this holiday season, according to the Governor Larry Hogan's office. Now, families and individuals who file for the Earned Income Tax Credit and qualify under the income requirements will receive $500 and $300 direct payments, respectively. Now, you are eligible if you annually earn $50,000 or less if you are married or filing jointly with 3 or more qualifying children, or if you make $47,000 a year or less with 2 qualifying children, or if you make $41,000 or less with 1 qualifying children, and $15,000 or less with no qualifying children. You may be eligible for one of these one-time stimulus payments here in the month of December. Now, we have the sixth state on the list, which is Michigan. And you could also receive additional payments if you're a child care professional in Michigan. As part of its child care stabilization grant, the state is offering $1,000 bonus checks to every full-time child care worker, which should be awarded as a bonus directly from their employer, according to the USA Today. Now, these checks should be issued sometime this month in December. And then we have the seventh state on the list, which is Tennessee. Now, Tennessee is giving out $1,000 hazard pay bonus checks to full-time teachers and $500 checks to part-time educators, according to the USA Today. Now, eligible recipients should receive their checks before January the 1st of 2022. So yes, guys, we do have these 7 states on this list that are still sending out stimulus checks in the month of December, which we only have about 13 more days left before the end of this year. So if you live in one of these states that I've mentioned here in this article, you want to make sure that if you are eligible to receive one of these stimulus checks, you might want to find out more information and when you can expect to receive one of these stimulus payments. Now, as I stated, these stimulus payments are being mailed out to some people in some states mentioned on this article right now, and they mailed those paper checks out as early as yesterday. So those payments should come within the next week or so. So you might actually receive those paper checks in early January. But again, guys, I hope this information was helpful to most of you out there. Hey, but anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, hey, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like this video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.